How's it going, everyone? I hope you're having a kick-ass week. Today what I want to do is a quick video in the 101 New Distillers series, and we're going to talk about everything that goes into making a spirit from start to end, so you guys can get an overview of all the different steps that you need to get a grasp of to be able to actually make a finished product. Right, so let's get stuck right in. Number one is the ingredients, guys. You need to pick a set of ingredients to use, and there's a few different reasons that you would pick ingredients. One is for flavor, one is for price, and I guess the last one is for efficiency. Now, some people will tell you that for distilling, you really don't need to worry about ingredients so much, and I think that that is incorrect. It is always a balance between those things, between flavor, price, efficiency, and I guess ease of use as well. So it's all about picking the right ingredients for the right situation, create the right product, and ingredients that have the right characteristics, the right statistics, whatever you want to call it, for the task at hand. Number two, you need to make a mash. Now, when I say mash, I'm using this in a very loose fashion. Technically, in my mind, a mash is taking something that has starch and using enzymes to break it down into sugar. Now, I don't want to get into that now. Don't stress about it too much. Just know that it's a thing. That's one kind of mash. And I guess loosely for this situation, I'm calling just throwing sugar into water with a few other things a mash as well, even though that's wrong. But loosely what I'm talking about in this step is you need to create a liquid that is full of food for the yeast and also the nutrients that the yeast need as well. So moving on to number three. Fermentation is what yeast does when it takes the food that you've provided it and turns it into carbon dioxide and alcohol. And the alcohol we are specifically looking for is ethanol. Now, there is a whole lot more that goes into fermentation. There's a whole lot of levers that you can mess with to change different things, and if you talk to the guys in the brewing world, the craft brewing world or the home brewing world, they are nuts about this, and honestly I think there's a whole lot that home distillers can learn from home brewers because of this fact. At the end of the day, though, really for us as distillers, the goal is to take as much of that sugar that you created during the mash, and convert it into as much alcohol as possible without stressing the yeast. That's your goal there. Now, once again, guys, I don't want to go into this in a whole lot of detail right now because that's not what this video is about. But if you play nice with the yeast and don't stress it, the yeast will do its job without throwing off all sorts of crazy flavors and undesirables that you do not want. So the next thing is, after we've fermented, we're going to take that liquid that's now full of alcohol, put it into our boiler and distill it. Distillation at its heart is super simple, and I'm going to cover this in the next video for you guys as well, the next 101 Newbie Distillers series, whatever you want to call it. But essentially what we're doing here, team, is we're trying to separate certain things from that wash. We're going to try and take as much alcohol as we can out, leave as much water as we can behind, and depending on what you're making, you can try and maximize or minimize certain things that are coming over, certain congeners, which are basically just anything else that's in there that isn't water or alcohol that adds flavor, and we can try and choose what we want to keep and what we want to get rid of, so we end up with a product that is heading towards what we want. So what I'm hinting at here, guys, is the idea of cuts. Now, that really is, in my mind, part of the distillation process, but I'm going to call it number 5 on our list. And cuts is to break what comes out of the still at different times, because it will vary through the run a whole lot, into different segments, so we can decide what we want to keep and what we do not want to keep. So how much alcohol is in it, how much good flavors are in it, and how much bad flavors are in it. Once again, guys, I will be doing a 101 video specifically on cuts coming up soon. Be patient. So once we've run the distillation process, we're left with these different cuts, however many number of cuts we've decided to make, and the next process, number 6, is to blend those cuts to decide what makes the cut and what does not make the cut and what goes into the final product. So I will be making another video on this as well, guys. Sorry, I know I'm saying that a lot, but this video is an overview. It's a roadmap that you can help to get through this initial learning process. But the stuff that we keep is going to be going into our new make spirit, and the stuff that we don't keep, we're going to call faints, and then we can use that later on. Another video coming on that. For some spirits, that's ready to roll. Vodka, for example, pretty much good to go after we proof it down. But sometimes we're going to want to age those spirits. Now, aging can mean different things for different types of spirit, but essentially what it means is aging it, letting it sit on oak. Think of pretty much any brown spirit you like, and chances are that was aged on oak. The most popular type of oak is US white oak, but there are other types out there as well. And you know what? Some people use all sorts of different types of wood. I've been messing around with maple, fruit wood, and even some native New Zealand manuka as well. But the idea here, team, is that basically you put it down for a nice nap in a barrel if you're one of the big producers and you're making enough spirits to do so. Or you can do what I'm doing, guys, and pop it into some glass, put some oak in there with it, and eventually you'll end up with something like this. Now, I know, guys, I know that was a lot of talking, and especially for those of you that have been doing this for a while, wasn't a lot of practical stuff in there. But what I'm doing here, team, is I'm laying down a roadmap from all the way at the beginning to all the way at the end for the new guys, because like I said in one of the previous videos in this series, oh man, it can be tricky. If you don't know what any of these words are and you don't have previous experience with fermentation, for example, how do you know where it fits into this process? For the new distillers, I really hope it helped you out. For the guys that have been doing this forever, drop some comments down below if you think there's something I've missed in this process. I'm sure the new distillers will be very, very appreciative of your help. Alright team, so I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you give it a thumbs up. If you're finding a whole lot of value in these videos in the Still It channel, there's a couple of things you can do. Number one is have a look at the link down below for the merch. You can grab yourself a t-shirt or a hoodie. There's more things coming soon, I hope. And the next thing you can do is check out the Patreon link down below and have a consider signing up there. Which reminds me, guys, thanks a bunch to the existing Patreons. The only reason I can do this stuff and make these videos is because of you guys, so thank you. Thank you so much. I thoroughly appreciate it. I'll be back with another video in this series shortly. Until then, guys, keep on chasing the craft. See ya.